Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. What was the McDonald's thing before ba-da-ba-ba-ba? I remember when they first came out with the ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it, I hated it. I thought that's so fucking stupid.
Wasn't it the Golden Arches? Like, it was something about smiling. It's pretty easy to smile with a quarter pounder in your mouth. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Welcome to the Trash Cats Trash Cast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And today we are talking about some trash.
Chilling.
Straight up chilling. The sheer terror when I get into the notes and realize I did not prepare a thing to open on.
We're off to a hot start. Hey,
hell yeah.
Speaking of chilling, I'm trying something new. I'm feeling a little edgy, so I'm in an all black room, no lights, just the dim glow of a computer and pitch black darkness.
Oh, dude, I do that every time.
I've never done it before. I forgot you kind of got the streamer cave going on.
Yeah, I got the mothership over here.
Yeah, this is
like I stream out of the Death Star.
I feel like my senses are heightening, like a blind man. I'm becoming Daredevil. Each passing moment.
You're going to start recording with a blindfold on every time you podcast now.
It sounds terrible.
Blindfold and like put some cotton balls in your mouth. So, I guess you need that to talk. I was going to say so you don't taste anything.
Fuck.
You can at least plug up your nose.
Something. Shit, man. How's your day, your week? How you feeling? What are you thinking? What are we doing?
Oh, dude, I feel great. I had 2 consecutive days off, and I feel fantastic. I got a bunch of shit done around the house. Still got some dishes to finish, but that's the...
Are you healed up like Wolverine? I think...
Oh, yeah, man. My fucking, my titanium bones are...
I think...
It's not titanium. What does he have?
Oh, they're titanium.
Okay, well, I know...
All of our metaphors have to be Marvel influence for the rest of the episode. We're setting rules on the fly today.
All right, cool. Ooh, what is it called? It's a nerd thing. It's a nerd word. It's not a real thing. Like adamantium.
Vibranium.
Steel. It's not vibranium. I don't think it's vibranium.
What was the other one? The rare one. It was like
Vibranium's the rare one. That's the one in Wakanda.
It was another one. It was like unobtainium.
Unobtainium? Is that a Marvel thing?
It was something. I forget what movie, but it was something.
It's funny. It's good shit.
Fuck.
What about you? How's your week been?
It's going okay, but I am like positively apathetic right now. But I'm embracing it. I'm becoming one with the darkness.
That sounds like normal Steven to me.
Yeah, I slept maybe an hour or 2 last night, but I don't really feel tired. When some nights when that happens and you wake up and you just want to die. You're like,
yeah.
I would rather slaughter 10 street dogs than go to work tomorrow. You know that?
Yeah.
And then other mornings you're like, you forget that you feel like shit and your life's garbage and you just like go about your day. And I'm kind of just in that apathetic groove. I'm just kind of shaking.
You know what that state is, right? That's your body in panic. Yeah, that too. I was going to say, that's your body in panic mode saying like, oh, something must be wrong. We didn't sleep last night.
Yeah.
There must be a threat at hand and we need to be aware and ready. And it like pulls out like reserve energy for you to...
It's like you're becoming the Incredible Hulk, but you got stopped midway through transformation.
Yeah, you didn't actually transform. Your brain's alert, but other than that,
my skin's green for some reason.
Your skin's green, but you're still small.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I'm, tired, but I feel like I've been doing okay this week. I'm just not getting what I want to done, and for me, that's really fucking frustrating. But I've been having good thinky thoughts. I have this time I have this Time Star manifesto all figured out, and
I love the idea. You're like, you start having a couple positive thoughts, or like thinking it slightly not, cynically, and it's like, I'm having some good thinky thoughts.
I'm having a great day over here.
Yeah. People should try this more often.
This whole thinky thing is cool. No, but yeah, I'm just trying to stay very positive, even when I don't feel like it, which used to be really hard. And I feel like it's become pretty natural at this point.
Fake it till you make it, man.
Yeah, fuck it. Just getting through each day and on to the next. What are you going to do? Just stay giant, be fire and marble.
Damn right.
No other option.
Literally just talking to someone about that today, of like, they said something about like, man, I never see you like upset. Like, you always, you seem like it's an optimist all the time. And I said, it's all about faking it till you make it. Like, it's all like, it's mostly a front, you just kind of like, what are you going to do? Complain about your situations in life? Like, no, you're still got to do it anyways. You still got to do the work. You still got to do whatever. Getting upset about it ain't going to make it go away. It's just going to make you upset and have to deal with the problem.
Yeah. I can do that now until I hit a certain threshold.
Yeah, I can see that. That's fair.
I can go back to my old ways real quick. It's like I have a limit, and it takes me pretty far to get there. But as soon as I get to that point, I can put my finger on the switch and kind of play with it a little bit. But once I push the button...
Yeah, there's something good about that. I don't know. I'm sure there's a long-term negative effect of doing that. Of like, I don't think it's the same of like bottling up your emotions, because I feel like I'm still dealing with it. It's just I'm cracking jokes about it in the meantime.
Yeah, clown hard.
Tolerate it. Yeah, clown on it a little bit. I have one friend that was like, whenever I, like small dumb shit happens at work, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is bullshit. Like I'd explode for no reason, because it's funny to me. Like, it's absolutely, joking. And they were like, you can't beat yourself up like that. I'm like, I'm just fucking around. Like, oh, Rich, you big stupid fucking idiot. And they're like, you can't bully yourself into being better. It's like, I appreciate that so much, and it was so sweet and earnest.
Yeah,
and it was like, this is how I don't know. It makes me laugh, and then I feel better.
Yeah,
like, and almost every time, like the problem itself is like a non-issue that I'm doing. Like, I dropped a blueberry on the ground or something, and it's like, it's a fucking blue, whatever.
Well, you really are like giant, game bred by giants. You have that vibe of forward always.
It's the only way to go, man. There's no going back. Not where I've come from.
Out in the borderlands, there's no going back.
Did you ever see the thing? There was I think it was Patton Oswalt talking about hiking. And he's like, the goofiest thing about hiking is you get out of your car, and you walk away from your car until you get tired, and then you turn around and you just walk back to your car. It's like, I always thought that was I don't like running and jogging for that reason. Like, I love going on a bike ride, but the jogging thing, I think it feels, unless you have like a block or something that you go around or something, the idea of like, you go so far and then it's like, well, fuck, now I gotta go back now.
Yeah,
I think it's been done many times on like Parks and Rec and stuff like that, where they're like, they get to the other side of the track and they realize like, well, fuck, I'm already over here. I gotta, if I want to go back, it's the same distance as the way I came. It's like,
dude, it's
this bullshit.
You just like
you call a fucking Uber.
You just like zapped me back. I used to run cross country. I ran track for like 7 years, and then I ran cross country for like 2.
A fucking win. Before SEPA?
Yeah, grade school, and then freshman, and then part of sophomore year I did cross country. I'd run like 10 miles a day, and that seems like I bike.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. But then I had all these bone problems in my feet. So,
yeah, that's a lesson to everybody. Running's bullshit.
It is. It's so dumb.
Don't do it.
They're like, run on concrete 10 miles every day while you're in high school forming your bones.
Get you one of those ellipticals that's got the treadmills on it.
Yeah, water stuff.
That low impact.
But it's so, like...
Or even better, just go to a beach. Run on a beach.
That's really hard on your ligaments, too. But that's so weird, though. Like, that is a different lifetime, man. Like, I can't... Like, I've done... so much shit since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like I forgot
you were
a
completely different person.
Yeah,
like
that's so bizarre.
Who I was in middle school.
Yeah,
I would hate that kid. Maybe not hate that kid.
Yeah, dude.
But
very weird.
Be like, ugh, very cringy.
There's a big therapy thing where it's big AA shit too, where the whole thing is like, be the version of yourself that you wish could have helped you when you were a child. I always think that's definitely cheesy, but very interesting.
Yeah, I dig that. My dad told me a long time ago when I was growing up, and I took this to heart in a way that it wasn't exactly intended, but he was talking about his dad and like his relationship with him, and he said, like I always told myself like I would never like be that kind of dad, like it would be different situation, like I would tomorrow's I was always going to be, it was going to be different than he was. Yeah. And I thought that was interesting, and I have carried that. I still think about that sometimes of when like the kind of like, be the change you want to see in the world kind of thing of like, when I think like, oh, I wish people weren't like this, or I wish people were, more, caring isn't the right word, but empathetic sometimes, or I don't know, better people, I guess, than...
Yeah, just the world's not such a cold, garbage, toxic.
Right, and that was, but that one stuck with me when I was young, too, of like, be better than those who came before you kind of thing.
Dude, that vibe of not so much the... All right, the never again vibe? Like something in your life happens, you're like, never again.
Yes, right, yes, I'm very familiar.
That's kind of like... It's more tragic, but it's cringier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the vibe of... tomorrow's going to be different. I'm not going to do that again. That is like a deep emotional well. Like there's a lot in that. When people are at that point where it's like things have to be different, there's a lot of potential like power there.
Yeah. There was a quote from somebody that was like, live your life so that you will never have to utter the words, what have I done? Like, that's a strong thing to like, what have I done? It's like, you got to be in some real shit to be saying some shit like that.
Yeah, that's when someone's dead and you're like, I fucked up.
You're standing over the body. And
yes. Dude, that Brother Lynch song is probably one of the most powerful songs in my life. That is like, I never want to live my life where I'm listening to that song in my car.
Yeah.
That's like, things have gone poorly if you're listening to that song in your car type of song.
Yeah.
What was something kind of cool. This is a weird way to tie it in, but I think I have 9 tattoo appointments in the next 6 months.
Brutal.
Dude, I'm so...
That sounds awesome.
It's a lot, though.
But it also sounds brutal.
It's like every other weekend, basically, for like 6 months. But And I can link some of it to apathy. There's always downsides, right? It's never like an answer, but I do find it very cathartic. I don't even know if I don't know if I could even say that I find it like a release as much, but it more feels like just something I have to do, you know?
That's fair.
It's like
I don't know. I've never gotten a tattoo, so I don't know that feeling.
Have you gone through any physical things like that? Like even during like teenage years, were there any like things where like you had to try changing, whether it was like your look, body, or any of that stuff? You're kind of giant-y. I could see.
I had, a not zero amount of piercings.
Mm-hmm.
It's 0 right now, but I had like 6 ear piercings and 1 eyebrow one, which, is fucking nothing compared to, what you were rocking back in the day. But that was probably the closest. I colored my hair once when I was in elementary school.
But you always seemed...
That was about it.
But you always seemed like you never needed to change anything about yourself. Do you get what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. It's mostly it. I don't know. Definitely nothing like physical. I don't really have that drive. The mental need, the need to have more knowledge about things, that has been a driving thing for me, of like things that I want to pursue. And it's usually dumb shit. It can be like as stupid as like, I want to learn the lore of, the Mist bullshit. Or, and like, I'll get into that, like super fixate on that for a little while. And sometimes it's cool shit. Like I want to learn about quantum mechanics and what that does.
Sumo wrestling.
And sumo wrestling. Yeah. Goofy shit like that I enjoy. I do sometimes, like I'll look into it a little bit and like, okay, I need to deep dive on this. I can't just surface level this. I need to, or I'll be unhappy with myself if I don't do it. I'm not sure if that's at all the same thing, but that's
I think
what I'm relating it to.
It's just the other side of the coin, right? Mind and body. It's still I feel it with my mind too, but with my mind, I feel like it's more that I need to express things or get things out of my head. But with my body, I feel like I maybe at different points, it was out of like insecurities, lack of confidence, but I very early on decided that self-hatred stuff is for the birds. Like that's trash.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
that's
fuck everyone else, not yourself.
Super, super unproductive. Yeah, exactly. It's everyone else's problem, not mine.
Yeah. But I've still always felt a very strong pull to change who I am. And it's hard to do that the same way mentally, where I think physically you can get these lasting but immediate results where you are like, if I could change myself into a humanoid, something unhuman, I probably would have done it long ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I feel like I had a thought there and I lost it.
I guess I've just, this last week or two, I've been feeling very strong feelings of wanting things to be different. Where like, I'm okay, like my life is better than it's ever been. I'm not like, I'm not falling apart right now, I promise. Right. but I've always wanted more. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to fucking kill myself because heaven sounded so much better than what the world had to offer. Like I've always, I'm a glutton. The world is not enough. I feel like James Bond over here.
I mean, yeah. More. Yeah, I feel that.
I don't even know what it is. Like, without drugs, there's nothing that scratches that I want more itch, but I want more of something or something different.
I think, I mean, it might have, in your case, it might have something to do with drugs, but for me, I feel like I also experienced that, but the difference is it centers more from a, not that I want more. It's like I want more from the world. Not that I want it for myself, but I feel like I should be able to have higher expectations of
that's
other people on the planet.
Oh, no. I understand what you're saying. I
feel like there are things, there are, injustices and shit, aside, it's things being the way they are that I feel like is it makes you kind of like, it's disheartening.
Sure.
Like like
if you look at politics of the last 5 years or the social issues right now, whatever. But I think we both agree those feelings do not stem from the want of material things. It's something deeper or more meaningful. Like, you want the world to be different, and I want something more out of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it all sucks.
I don't... See, the thing is like, if you're in a really depressive state, those kind of thoughts, I feel like, can, like, pull you into the muck, right? But if you're hopeful and or energy, like, activated, right? Like, just willing to fight for it to be that way, I think it can also, while simultaneously sucking, it is also like a magnetic thing worth fighting to obtain.
Kind of a driving force.
Yeah, like if we felt, I don't know, fully satisfied in our wants of our lives, there would be no reason to work for them to be any different.
Yeah.
Can't build a pile of trash without the need or the want to find more trash.
But, sometimes we just want to rest.
Dude, I'm so tired. I just want to fall asleep and get tattooed.
There is some of it where, like, I definitely get that, having the need drives the desire to do, but also, can I stop doing at some point? It would be cool to stop doing at some point. It'd be cool to be like, hey, I'm young and able-bodied and I can do stuff, but also I'd like to do stuff for fun that I can enjoy while I'm young. And I can now. There are many years of at least especially in my 20s, that I worked so much I couldn't. And even that, I have nothing to show for it other than experience and stuff in my head, but I don't have,
the right to keep working, right?
I don't have, I don't have wealth accumulated from that.
That's definitely been on my mind a lot too. And part of, I'm actually pretty excited about this time manifesto because I feel like it's all just bullshit conceptual metaphysics nonsense, right? But I feel like I tied together some ideas or concepts pretty well, and I think in part what I'm struggling, like the want to have concrete changes, like for my skin to look different, is that I feel like all the work and all the want to rest, it's going to be over. Like tomorrow. Like, time only goes faster. There's as much as I know both of us would just love to rest. Like, you had a 17-day stretch of work or whatever. You had like
21.
21. You had 2 days off. Of course we want to rest, but it's also, it's just like we're never promised another day. Like, there's
no, true.
It like when I can rest, it's the best. But I struggle to enjoy it too, because it's like, what's the fucking point? You're gonna have to do, you can't rest long enough to enjoy it. I think that's kind of how I felt for a while.
Take that long rest.
Yeah, that dirt nap.
That dirt nap.
Every morning you gotta pull your dick out of the dirt.
I told that for some reason that reminded me of Same Soup Warmed Up.
Yeah.
I told my boss about that. He fucking loves it.
Same soup warmed up.
I love the idea of that being like passed on and it becomes a thing. From that guy saying it.
Yeah, it was one of my old dope dealers. He'd be on his rocking chair on his porch. Be like, "What's up, homie? Same soup warmed up."
Was that the accent?
Yep. Like, all right, bud, let's go shoot some dope. Fix a truck.
I was just about to say, that's some hillbilly ass shit right there. Oh, goddamn. Oh, good goddamn.
Well, you mentioned wanting world differences. You had one thing you mentioned.
Oh, God.
Let's run it.
So I told Steven the amount of fucking litter I've been seeing in my neighborhood is one thing.
Is this Ricky's trash manifesto?
Yeah, this is my trash manifesto. I don't know. I feel like that's the one, like, steal whatever the fuck you want to, like, hit people, hurt people, whatever. Don't fucking litter.
Why?
It's anytime I've seen somebody, watching someone litter is the most unattractive,
disgusting
thing that you can watch someone do. It's like the immediate, there's no better way of telling me that you are out of your mind stupid than just littering. And it's like such a simple thing. I feel like it's...
I have to push back, though. Because...
Of course you do, but okay, go ahead, push back.
Because I'm with you. It's like the world already sucks enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't make it shittier.
That's not even the reason. It's just like, it's not hard, though.
But if you...
It's not hard to not throw a literal bag of trash out the window of your truck.
People do it in front of my house every fucking day, and it's so gross. But have you ever been on a 3-day bender and you throw a McDonald's bag out your car window onto someone else's lawn and drive away smoking a cigarette?
Not once.
Oh my God. You've never lived, brother. Okay, I think honestly part of what it is, maybe subconsciously for a lot of people, but there's a jealousy, like there's an anger out of jealousy. Because that person, they're being a piece of shit, right? They're doing something gross and disgusting, but there's like a jealousy of the freedom where that person is, they don't even give a fuck so much that they won't even put their trash in a trash can. Like there's something alluring about that where they accept the world as fucked and we're like, oh no, don't make it bad. And then it's like, I don't know. I think there's something to that though.
And that's not even like the angle I come. I mean, maybe it is like if you like break it down a whole bunch, but like, I don't know. It's like, honestly, it's like the putting the cart back in the corral thing.
Sure.
It's like, we're
talking common
do you
courtesies.
well, I guess that's different because that's like not even like, that's not like against the law.
But it's all the same thing. It's common courtesies and being a good world citizen.
Yeah, being a good cosmopolitan person.
Yeah.
I don't know. So some of it, like, I understand that some of the trash that's on my street probably comes from like people's trash cans. And then when it's like an automatic arm thing that comes out from the dumpster or not the dumpster, the garbage truck.
Very
and
small.
And it picks up the trash can and like,
that's a very
shakes it
small
out.
amount.
So if they're like shoving like bags of chips or whatever in there that's not in a bag,
no,
it's a potential for it to get blown away. I'm giving a margin of error.
That's very generous because we live in garbage cities where people don't give a fuck about anything.
The fact that I see fucking chip bags and shit and candy wrappers and shit in front of my yard all the time, it pisses me off. And it's like,
you're booming.
Who is walking?
You're booming hard right now, bro.
I don't think I am.
Gotta tell you.
It's the way, it's like, who is walking down the street eating a bag of chips like you do?
Every poor person in Detroit.
I'm done with this now. Let's go of the bag.
Dude.
Continues walking, let's go of the bag.
If you've never littered as an adult, you have to try it once. Just to see how it feels. Just to learn a little bit of empathy with all these stupid pieces of shit that litter, right?
Here's another one. I think this is actually kind of funny. The highway, fucking 75 up here, there's a long stretch of it that I take to and from work all the time when I have to take the truck downtown. Mm-hmm. And there's a huge section of it that, like 3 miles of it, that were recently part of the, like adopt a highway program thing, and people, they come out and they clean it or whatever.
Of course.
And that was like a week and a half ago. They came out and cleaned it, and you can tell that they cleaned it because suddenly one day there were just a bunch of white bags of trash along the side of the road.
And they don't pick up the bags anymore.
They didn't pick up the bags.
Dude, they did that all down 75 from Detroit to Cincy for 2 years. Those bags accumulated. It became a multi-state problem.
It's like, how?
Because probation was doing it, and they weren't paying for some. They were using the parolees to collect it, and then they weren't paying for a trash contractor to pick up the bags. So there's like 10 bags every 50 meters. Tires, cart, like anything, air conditioning.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so bad down here. Like there were, so people started throwing their own trash too. It's like Mad Max. Like you're driving on 75.
Like, this is the trash receptacle. Got it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for bringing it closer to the side of the road for me.
You got people 20 miles an hour over the limit, going through multiple lanes, half the highway's under construction. You got trash lining both sides. You got cops pulling people over, smacking.
That's actually, at that point, it's a safety thing. You have, extra padding on the sides.
It did. We live in a Mad Max world. Like,
I thought it was so fucking. In your description is right. It's like it was, a bag every like 30, 40 feet.
Yeah.
And like multiples of them in huddles and shit, but like at least a bag every 30, 40 feet for like 3 miles.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, how'd you fuck this up so bad?
So bad.
It's like, okay, I guess you picked it, you got it like out of in between the blades of grass on the side of the road. But now it's still there. It's still there, though.
But they sat for 2 years in some spots on 75. But the reality is
that's embarrassing.
Our government officials were so corrupt they stole all of the money from the taxpayers. The bridges are falling apart, and they keep stealing the money. It's like Gotham fucking City, right? They stole so much money from us that they can't afford to get rid of trash. That is the actual reality. Like that.
Well, here's the one. It's like, I thought that would be part of the, like, adopt a highway program of like, you say you're going to like sponsor.
It's more work than they can
cleanup
do.
Of this.
There was a Seinfeld episode where Kramer adopts part of a highway, and like the whole joke was like after like 3 days of doing it, he had to give it up because he never stood a chance of keeping up with it.
Yeah, I don't know. That shit blew me away because it's like the first day I drove past it and it was like, oh, cool, they're cleaning that up. That's nice. And the second time I drove past it, it's like, oh, I guess they'll come back for those. And then like by the seventh time I've driven past them, it's like, really, guys, come on, what the fuck? It's like they finished paving a large portion of like this major road in Metro Detroit within the time that these trash bags have been there. Like rerouted traffic for like a few miles stretch of this road, repaved a 5-lane road in the same time that all of these fucking trash bags have been sitting there.
They have to collect all the trash bags to repave the road. They repave it, put all the bags,
put them back.
All right, but here's the question though. All right, this is the cynical part. But there is truth to it that I feel like a lot of, because I am with the environmentalists. I'm with the like stop global warming shit. I always have been, right? But there's also a reality that no matter if I spent every moment of my life trying to create as much trash as possible, it would not make any difference. No amount of trash we could physically try to create would ever make a difference.
How do you mean?
Because
you're saying that you personally, that the people,
even collective groups of people, even the combined population of the United States, every single person, if we all start recycling and we all start doing the right thing, it still cannot make a difference.
Right.
Because the reality is that this is all the result of policy shit. Like the EPA the Supreme Court just said they are not allowed to regulate car emissions anymore. Like these companies dump millions of gallons of plastic and oil.
Yeah, that was actually going to be one of the points that I brought up is like, I know that everyone makes trash. Like I am, we're all guilty of it. You can be more conscious about it. I feel like I'm doing pretty good on like not making too much trash or like, I recycle my cardboard and luckily that's the other one up here is because you get deposits on like bottles and cans. You don't see like, there's not like broken bottles in the street like you have in Price Hill or, in Cincinnati in general. I used to call at my apartment in Hawaiian Terrace. There was
a back alley through the woods where all the skunks were. There were like 10 skunks at all times, but we had gang war. There were real gang wars, and then there were gang wars between the raccoons and the cats.
You told me about that.
There was a whole ecosystem at the dumpsters, right? But at night, there's this back alley coming out of the woods near this apartment complex, and there was so many broken bottles that the glass would just shimmer in the moonlight, and I called it the shining path that the Bushido samurais would walk, and I would walk barefoot on the shining path, and I'd go hang out with the skunks. Just like that's the level of garbage our world is. Like it's like, of course we don't want to contribute to it, but there is nothing in like you can only do what's in your power. Like you can try to like vote and all that dumb shit, but
it really comes down to you're doing it to make yourself feel better, to make yourself feel less guilty.
Yeah, and that's what like I still will always try to like support what would be the right choice, but it also is I feel like when people let their whole identity or goal goal in life or obsession to be to like change these things, like to get plastic out of fish's guts. Like you've lost. Like you just have to survive. Like this is not something we win or change. This is survive. And you know, we've talked about this before. If you believe in humans, right? Like, do we believe humans are going to destroy the world or not? Like, where do you fall? Where's the 51%? Do you think we destroy the world or we save it? Do you believe in humanity or we...
I've been leaning in the we destroy it.
Okay, so
path, and it sucks to feel that way, but there's definitely been a part of me where when I was younger, especially, I would think about like, man, it would be, you know, especially with how technology's like moving, how it is, like how cool would it be to see, you know, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, you know, and I realized like, oh man, 100 years from now might be reaching. You know, I think, you know, it will still be here 100 years from now, but like 200 years, like that's still, there's a lot of questions about that. I don't know. I feel like
this is the part that I get, I get kind of confused, right? Because
yeah,
I would think of myself as more cynical than you and more cynical than most, right? And I think people are 50-50. Like, we're not inherently evil, but we're not good. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And we're trending in destructive ways, right? Like, we are, like, the world is trash fire. Like, I've been saying that for 15 minutes. We're destroying everything, right?
Yeah.
We're a virus on the planet. A bunch of us need to die. But regardless of our good or bad true nature, we are a race of survivors. Humans always find a way. I don't believe in us inherently, but people will invent our way out of these problems. Even if we torch the earth, we will be on another planet, or we will have bacteria that eats plastic, or they're turning skyscrapers into air carbon cleaning shit, where there's like massive fans at the core of the building. Like, there's no way. Think of all the rich people, all the money. Like, there's no way we just die out of ignorance. I don't believe that.
Well, a part of it also to me, like I also feel like it's not that we're going to like destroy the planet and that's how we die. I feel like we'll probably kill ourselves first fighting over the planet.
No, what, dude, if Musk and Gates tomorrow had to get to Mars to live, 50-50 they're going to make it.
And think they're bringing anyone else with them?
They're going to bring enough people to have to continue their family or race, whatever. Like, there are the means out. I just can't. I just don't.
I don't see that as a win, though.
I don't either, and I don't think it's like
I still feel like
us being good, but we are We are cockroaches. We will always find a way to survive. Don't you think?
I mean, those that have can try, but
sure,
you've painted a picture of
it's bleak.
Yeah, you've painted a picture of what would really be, you know, worst case scenario still.
Sure.
Of like, I wouldn't really call that survival. I mean,
oh, come on. I get what you mean, but the question is if we die or not.
Having a handful of people move, and that's the other one, is like the idea of like moving and terraforming a new planet or whatever. Like, we're not anywhere. We're not close to that yet.
But all right, whatever. How many years ago was it? 2,000, 5,000, 10,000? I honestly don't know. But we had Egyptian king gods that could force thousands of people into slavery and break their backs to build the pyramids. Thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Like, we are capable of so much. And I'm not even saying that's not a good thing, but
no.
People will find a way to do incredible things.
at the expense of other people.
Yeah, 100%. They have
that's
more money.
That's not illustrating a point of survival. That's illustrating a point of how that nature of us is destroying those around us.
If we use a morally flexible definition of survival, like hey, we're not, we wouldn't be surviving because we're not thriving, then I would agree with you. But if we're saying like just
that there is at least one standing,
yeah, then I think humans until something happens that like.
I mean, yeah,
wipes everything
put
out.
me into cryo sleep and chuck me out in space, I guess. But
yeah,
that's not survival.
I mean, on a technicality,
it's like what I might consider, what I might be willing to consider survival is. You ever heard of like the concept where they take like Noah's Ark type shit, but it's like the genetic biome, or not biomes, but like the genetic buildup shit, like take blood samples and shit that like if there is a end all catastrophe, we have this
2 strains of cum from every animal. Oh,
2 ropes from every animal.
They have those seed farms. I think there's like 20 of them across the world where they're like seed banks and animal DNA and virus stuff from all over.
Yeah, shit like that where it's like, okay, so if we, we blow ourselves up.
Yeah.
But we have, if we have the time and the ability to like throw that into space before we destroy ourselves, then if something's out there and it comes across, and is able to find it, then they would have technically would have the ability to, like clone.
But dude, for all we know, we are the 4th, 5th, 100th iteration of human beings. Like, how do we know that we haven't been here before? That the human race hasn't evolved, thrived, suffered, and died out multiple times on this planet or others. Like, who the fuck knows? It's like the God argument.
The plausibility of it doesn't make sense.
We don't know.
Because, it doesn't make sense because of how evolution works.
I don't think that's true, because
the way that we got here, the way that we formed into who and what we are as a species was dictated by our environment.
Sure.
And the things around us, which unless we were in the last place that our, absolute forebearer, tardigrade fucking single cell organisms that came in on an asteroid.
But where
if they came from the exact same planet structure with the exact same.
Wait. Where is your string theory now? Why are there not a million worlds like this?
Well, that's not how string theory works. It's not in the way that there's a million worlds and they're all, or a million universes that all, can.
They're all different, but there would be, like we've talked in the past, there would be like basically a million clones of ourselves, like every iteration possible forever.
And that's only accessible if you can cross and enter the 5th or 6th dimension.
But
and which we don't have the ability to yet.
But this is just
if we have in the past and we took our, some kind of single celled organism and threw it at this planet, still the point being that the way that we evolved is different than what we would have evolved from.
I understand.
On a different planet with different.
Yeah, like that water could have less salt in it, and we develop 2 arms or 3 arms.
We have 2 arms.
Speak for yourself, buddy. No, but I'm just like I'm not. I'm not saying like practically or like logistically that this is a likely possibility, but more that all of these potentials are possible. But if we exist now, we have to assume that we either always survive or we always come back. Because if we weren't here now, we couldn't have that.
That's not true, though. I mean, that we've survived thus far is true, but the idea that we have always been, or we have survived previous and like went away and come back.
I'm not saying I'm saying it's a possibility, not that it's like likely. Is that fair? Because I feel like if we can't say we know if there was a God or not, we can't say we've never existed before or not. Like
I mean, I guess that's fair,
right?
I guess that's fair, but if we're judging by observable science, all right, that doesn't make sense.
You might find this interesting. Okay, when you're having or watching an atheist God argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the atheist sets rules to God, like, no, it could, we can't prove existence because what would God's God be? The infinite chain of God, right. God's big brother type shit.
Yeah.
And then you have the Christian who's like, well, we know from the Bible and on these constraints that God made the world, and this is the only time we've been here because God, and they set all these different constraints.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is for either side, like we have the observable universe and science, right?
Right.
But how can we assume, whether you call it God, aliens, just time, how can we assume God works within the constraints we believe exist of the universe?
I mean, that's fair, but I would argue also this: if you're bringing in the concept that God is working outside of the laws of physics, the universe, things that we can observe and that we know, the things that He created, that they created, that doesn't, that interference from God does not, it's not playing fair with the idea of like, oh, we survived. And it's like,
but I don't think God...
Did you survive, or did God bring us back? Did God revive?
Sure. And that's where it gets...
And that's, you can't have faith in people for that, then you're having faith in God. Because they were the one that brought us back and did that. Sure.
I guess maybe to my own folly was kind of abstracting it out, but I think when a God pusher, a dirty God pusher, says that like they set these constraints that God would have to exist or function within our understanding of time and physics.
I definitely don't think that's true. I think if there's someone that created the laws of nature
and an all-powerful God, if a God can't function outside of that, they're not an all-powerful God.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I agree with that.
I see. All right, I think this is what I'm trying to get at. I'm sorry, I'm a little all over, but I think
you think we're immortal.
Yeah, if not practically and in reality, I believe we are conceptually. The human spirit is like, as much as I fucking hate people and humans, I think there's always a part, like ants, right? We're disgusting, but we collectively build shit, and there's always going to be someone that has this quality of spirit that is beyond human. That can, there's always going to be someone that figures it out. There's always going to be someone that survives past what we ever thought possible. Like I just have, at least in our lives, I've seen no evidence that humans wouldn't figure something out.
Well, let me refer you to example example A, exhibit B.
We got the Holocaust, World War II, Twin Towers.
Have you seen the movie Don't Look Up?
Yeah, that was a fun one. We watched that at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Honestly, I picture, I mean, it's a work of fiction, obviously, but it's, that's kind of how I see the world reacting to an issue like that. Time and time, we just had COVID a couple years ago, and people couldn't get their head out of their ass long enough to, stop fighting with each other over whether or not you should wear a mask when you go to the grocery store or not.
All right, but let's take both of those examples, right? Both the meteor and COVID, right? Mm-hmm. It would be not impossible, but near impossible for either of those things to ever kill everyone. Like, think of COVID at its worst. It's still negligible damage. Like, when you look at the grand scheme, like on individuals' lives, devastating. But on the grand scheme of humanity, it's nothing.
I would argue that if left unchecked, we don't know that that's true.
Not even the
we don't know that if unleft, we're still getting different variants, and it's because that's what viruses do, is they mutate and they grow. That's why you're supposed to get a flu shot every year.
But my point is that I don't see it ever possible that any biological disaster could kill everyone. I'm not saying that it couldn't even, I could see us getting into the 90s, right? 90% of all people dead from some crazy black plague, right? But I can't imagine anything being able to end humanity.
But again, it's not impossible.
I agree. I just maybe that's denial on my part.
You can't picture it, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible.
I agree. You're right. I mean that earnestly. I think you're right that we could go anytime. I don't believe it. Not
as with modern medicine and what we can do, it definitely lowers that risk.
And money, power.
Yeah, we have the ability to do phenomenal things. We had a vaccine in like a year.
We can do more than we've
tested and approved within a year. We had a vaccine that reduced your risk substantially.
Yeah, I got all my boosters and shit, but it sucked. This has been a failure in a lot of ways. It's been a miracle of modern science and a failure at the same time. It's really interesting.
Now, how do you say it's a failure of modern science?
Because every scientist, when these came out, thought it was going to be, their estimations were like 80% more effective than it was supposed to be. Like, a lot of people in the medical industry really are very let down, and there are some long-term consequences. I say that being in full support of taking the vaccine and boosters, but this is not how they told us and what they hoped would happen.
I still think having pushed that out in a year, it's
incredible.
Still,
but they were working on it for 20 years. If that technology had, 90% of that work had been done in the last 10 years prior. And it could have been done 20 years ago if they didn't fuck the funding. George Bush, Obama, and then Trump right after have just stripped more and more money away from the understanding of science, and specifically to vaccines and biological threats. Right after COVID, Trump nixed half the shit.
Now, you're saying that they were working on the specific
mRNAs,
variant?
Yeah. They were working with COVID viruses for a while, but mRNAs specifically for the last 10, 20 years.
Like SARS shit and whatever.
Well, mRNAs, I may misspeak a bit, but the mRNAs is just the type of vaccine. They've been working with COVIDs and SARS, whatever.
Yeah, I think
also
SARS is like a type of coronavirus, isn't it too? Or one of those.
A cold is SARS. Like, it's just a general virus, basically.
Which one was it? H1N1?
That was the bird flu, right?
Bird flu.
Like, they're all basically types of colds or flus.
That's types of influenza.
But they had been working on the delivery system that was unique to these vaccines, except like one of them, they were all mRNA vaccines, which they had been working on for 20 years.
SARS is a type of coronavirus. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
It's still, we've never been able to have, medical stuff do this.
You think, before. Even if this were to happen, 40, 50 years ago, how much longer it would have taken them
to
get a vaccine. Well, just with the technology available then.
As shitty as it is.
The understanding of how viruses work.
Honestly, as shitty as it is, I honestly feel there's an argument for accelerationism in the sense that because the world, in particular the US, was so split on whether to take the vaccine or not take the vaccine, to stay inside or to not give a fuck and spread it as much as possible, because the political divide was so extreme, I think there is some sort of argument that trying to do the right thing, for all we know, could have made things worse. I don't know that. I don't think there will ever be, there's lots of evidence that the vaccines and trying to do these things helped, but who the fuck knows? No one knows for certain.
At the very least, trying to do the right thing did inform you of the shitty people in your family that you're going to have Thanksgiving with that year.
Yeah, dude, since COVID, I haven't seen any extended family at all. And I don't think I'm going to one wedding. I'll go to certain cousins' things, but dude, fuck extended family. I'm over it, for real.
Yeah, there's that whole blood's thicker than water shit. They're your family, you have to love them shit. You get the fuck out of here. I absolutely do not.
Yep.
I don't have to like you. I don't have to love you.
Yep.
I don't care whose daddy you are, whose cousin, whose grandma we share, whatever.
Man. But I think the thing is both of us will almost always tend to fall into the tribe of, regardless of if it's futile or not, we're going to try to do the right thing or make the right choice or figure shit out, right? And a lot of other people won't. There's always going to be that split, and it's not just along political party lines or ideological lines. It's a type of person. There's something more, I don't know, but I think, right, when there will always be people like that, I think there's always going to be people far beyond us too that feel the same way and will solve problems. That's I guess my whole point. And I feel like such a cynical person. That's why I'm always a little, not bummed out, or just slightly perplexed that people like you, who are much more positive than myself, don't also feel like we'd figure it out. My positivity comes more from a faith in myself than. So when it's something bigger than yourself, you have a little less.
Yeah, optimism. when it's out of my control, it becomes. I'm much more cynical about it.
Can I go ahead? Sorry.
I was going to say the idea of, having that faith that, I know that there are definitely people that want to do and can do amazing things, and, they've stepped up so far, and that's why we're still here, but it's, I don't know, it's not something I take for granted.
Can I run a little thought experiment by you?
Please.
All right, this is going to be the ultimate optimism test. We're about the Steelman positivity, okay? This is out of my wheelhouse, but I'm feeling crafty, okay?
Okay, yeah.
All right, take all the shitty people out. So we got
Half, maybe give or take half the population.
At least 60, right? We're going to kill all the Nazis, all the MAGA army, all of God's army.
The Goober Nationals.
All the goobies, all the politicians, everybody. Anyone shitty. All right, so we got them out of here. So we're down to like 60%, right?
Okay.
Now we take out all... one by one with our big weapons, we take out all the people that harmed you on an individual level. Good or bad person, right? But someone that personally aggressed against you. They're gone. Like, what's our Marvel movie?
Thanos. Analogy? Yeah, Thanos snapping his finger. There we go.
We're on a roll. Sponsored by Marvel over here.
Two in an hour. Good job, boys.
Disney owes us $2. All right, so we snap out...
Trash Cats, sponsored by Disney.
So we snap out all of the personal aggressions. So let's say we're down to 50%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's just get rid of all the idiots. Just all the dum-dums.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get rid of them. Let's go 30%.
So we got 10% left.
Yeah. All right, so we're at like 10%, right? Now, let's get rid of the uglies. Let's make it 5%.
Hey, okay, hold on. No, wait, hold on. Ugly did nothing wrong. They were born that way. It's not their fault.
Hey, they hurt my eyes. Okay. This is the ultimate positive world. This is perfectness. Okay. We can't have unsymmetrical motherfuckers lurking about in our perfect world.
All right, TikTok.
All right. So we got it down to 5% of the perfect people. Now, if you only had your whole life, like let's pause your life right now. Your little Ricky VHS, right?
Mm-hmm.
We click pause. I'm God and I press pause. I pop the tape. And we have your whole life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have to do a little beepy bopping with our algorithm, right? We got the VHS. We put it in our computer. Straight into the computer. And then
convert it to an MP4 and then, yeah.
And then we cross-reference this VHS with the 5% of good people, right? So you have...
just tumbleweeds across Detroit.
Hear me out, though. If you looked at your life, right,
and
you could only see the 5% of interactions from good people that tried to help you directly or indirectly or made your life or world better, it would still be a mind-boggling amount compared to the alternative of being alone in the jungle, not being able to make your own clothes, food, computers, cars, have anything, have any media relationships, anything to do, a job, whatever, a purpose. That 5% of positive interactions effect on your lifetime is still an incredible amount.
Yeah.
And that's like being a cynic and deleting 95%. So like with a little more faith in people, what an ugly fucking word, with a little more mental illness and embracing what people's effect or ability to change your life or the world, it is a lot. I think maybe I in part feel some of this because I've been like many times like extremely humbled, right? Like I've fucked up a lot and I've been like desperate enough where I've had to rely on other people's charity. And I got to a point where no matter how bad I fucked up, I knew someone, even if it was just strangers, someone was going to help me. Even if like 95% of the people were garbage and made my life as close to hell as possible, there was going to be that 5% of people that were somehow going to help me and get me through that amount of time. Every fucking time.
Yeah. Well, so I've been doing some math over here.
Okay, what's the numbers?
Okay, so 5% of the world's, we're talking about the world, right? The world's current population.
Sure. However you want to run it, I'm good.
I'm gonna say if we're doing this hypothetical, let's talk about the whole world.
Okay. How many billion people?
So there's 8 billion people currently.
Okay.
It's like 7.9 or something. Like we're coming up on it real quick, which is nuts because it was only 7 billion like 11 years ago.
And we're probably in the top.
So in 12 years.
Right?
I'm sorry, what?
Practically, we would be in like the top 0.5% of.
Yeah, if we're being idealistic, we are in the 5%.
No, I'm saying in living standards, we're probably in the 0.5% of the top of quality of life across the world.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It's like the top. I'm pretty sure it's under
the
1%.
Top 1%, or the top 0.01 of the top one, whatever Bernie Sanders used to say. So if we were to just cut it to 5% of 8 billion people,
okay,
that's 400 million people.
Okay, so we have 400 million souls walking around trying to help us out, and the rest try to fuck us over.
Right.
Okay.
So for reference, that's if that's the way we're looking at it, which I don't think is accurate, obviously, but if we were to say like you know Thanos, snap your fingers, and there's only that 400 million people left, that we haven't had that low of a population since the 1600s.
Okay.
Like 1600s. Immediately after that, so we had 600 million in 1700s. We had 900 million, almost a billion in 1800. This is again world population.
I'm struggling with this a little bit, but I'm following you.
Yeah, follow me here. Follow me here. Let me start here. In 1928, world population hit 2 billion. In 1928, less than 100 years ago.
Well, I'm sorry, repeat that number one more time.
2 billion.
And we're up to like almost
we're up 6 billion since then.
In how many years?
Over the entire recorded, in 100 years. Less than 100 years.
Okay. So in 100 years, we've like quadrupled. The virus is expanding.
In all of recorded history, it didn't even reach 1 billion.
It's like
until well into the 1800s.
It's like the microchip law.
What's like? Oh yeah. It's exponential. Yeah, in a way that is absolutely wild.
You got charts and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I got charts.
I'm with you.
My point being that there would still be. I don't know. I feel like there's still a 400 million people. It's not, by our standards, a lot of people.
But how, the part I'm losing you a bit, is how is the number actually relevant at all?
Well, because we were talking about we started talking about the 5% of the population thing, and I got off onto this thing of figuring out, like, what does that look like? What does that look like when you Thanos snap everyone away except for 5% of people? How does that affect the world around you when suddenly 8 billion, or 7.5 billion people are gone?
Well, can I split this in two directions?
Please.
Direction A would be that part, that actually deleting 95% of people is irrelevant because the 5% will always be in the mix. It's like a bag of dope. The fentanyl is in everything, right?
Well, that's it. I was saying in the hypothetical world where we can selectively choose,
it would be a lot better for world. That's for sure. And in some ways, but we also wouldn't have all of the shitty people and all the workers and extra hands to make our world.
We would have no fast food workers. We already have no fast food workers.
It would be a very different world, But direction B is that even if we were to do that, 95% of people are gone. And it's a bunch of really empowered, positive motherfuckers that want to help each other. Even if we would massively suffer from losing all of the brute working force of the 95%, we're not all going to die. We're going to figure it out. Oh,
no, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
No, that's...
Well, take me on the journey. I'm sorry.
I'm leaning into the accelerationist. I'm leaning into the accelerationist thing. Not in a way that it's still a shitty idea, and I think that it's, in theory, it acts a lot better than it does in actuality, but the idea of if what's the reference I'm looking for is like in Halo they talk about the purge. It's like the great cleansing thing, and it's like
risky word choices, but I'm with you.
Yeah, you're right. Now
if we only cleanse 95%. We're walking the tightrope over here. No,
God damn it! My point being, if you let's say the planet is only made up of people that want to do good, and hypothetically, yes. even if we were to say that's not only want to do good, but will only do good to their best abilities, and will be diligent about it. And if we're saying hypothetically, completely out of our ass numbers, that's only 5% of the population. I'm saying that the whole argument you had at the beginning of humans will find a way to survive, I feel like I can agree with that statement if that were the case. If suddenly there was
what pessimistic trash. Come on. You think I will counter you with? You honestly...
I just agreed with you.
Wait. Then I misunderstood.
Yeah, I agree with you. I said that if even if we were put in a situation, so let's not even put it into our situation. So we have like, let's say the coronavirus attacked us in a way, and we didn't have the vaccines
Science.
Failed completely, and it just made it worse for some reason somehow, and we lost 95% of our population. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And then the population that was left, instead of being downtrodden about the loss,
it was the good 5%.
They all anteed up. They found a common moral ground to stand on and not fucking fight with each other about it and just work together. If they were able to do that, then yes, I agree that humans can find a way.
Okay.
But it's still based on the idea that they are able to get past ideological bullshit.
I understand.
Which I find very hard to see, especially after a gigantic trauma like that.
This is all hypothetical. Let me simplify.
It's all hypothetical.
Let me simplify.
We are 100% talking about completely out of our asses right now.
I'm a doctor and a professor.
Yeah, true, yeah.
And a lawyer.
And a detective.
And I'm going to jail.
And an Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa fetishist. All right, let me simplify, because would I be incorrect that you made a small concession just now? You basically agreed that if it was only down to the 5% of good people, then you would believe in humanity. You made a very small concession.
And even then, there were stipulations to it. But yes.
Sure. All right. I will take that. Now, let me test your theory, okay?
Go ahead, pull at the strings. There are none, but pull at them. They're not attached to anything.
We're going to find the limits to your arguments and what would allow you to change your mind. What you would have to see to prove you wrong. All right? So, you're good. You believe in humanity. All right, this is... When we say believe in humanity, we're not just talking about pure survival. We're talking about, like, the endurance of spirit Is that fair to say? Like, a meteor still could take us out, but we're going to work together and figure shit out.
I think that's fair to say, but I think that's subjective.
It is, but just for conceptness, let's...
I think... Yeah, continue. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, so you believe in 5% of humanity. But if you have the whole pie all together, you take that 5% slice of the yummy pie and you put it with the 95% of the shitty pie, then you no longer believe in that pie.
Well, okay. Let me put it this way. If only 5% of a pie is good, would you call it a good pie? Would you eat that pie?
All right. How can we turn that into a Marvel analogy so I can answer? I might
if Thor was a pie,
but I wouldn't not believe it is a pie. Maybe that's not the question. All right,
the question is if you had something that was 95% broken, and again, these are numbers that we made up out of nowhere.
No, hear me out. Your analogy is off because we are saying if it's good or not. So we have 5% of the pie that is right, and we have 95% that is not. If you, I need a better analogy. If you have that whole thing together, even if most of it is shit, is it still not is?
Is it still not is?
This is exactly how my Star Time manifesto is going to read. It's all nonsense.
All right, Crowley.
Yeah, I have a better one, but all right, you believe in 5%. I'm trying to shift you on this.
Here's what I'm saying. You have a pie and it's 90. Most of it's trash. Most of it is absolute garbage.
Dog shit pie.
There's literally, it's a dog shit pie, but there are some spiced apple chunks. They're not even a slice. There's spiced apple chunks kind of throughout it. And you're like, oh man, I do love me some cinnamon sugar apples. But I'm not going to eat this fucking pie to get a bite just for that one little nugget.
All right.
I'm not, you know what I mean?
I do get what you mean. This is just surprisingly cynical from you because I think previously
not eating a shit pie is cynical.
But previously, we're down to 5%, right?
Well, that was a number that you came up with.
I know.
You did that. You took out all the uggos.
All right. Now here's my real counter. The 5% of people, all of their strength, ingenuity, creativity, their willingness to cooperate and figure shit out, right? These are the brightest, most enduring minds and bodies of the human race, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you truly believe that the other 95% of shitty people will ultimately destroy everything that 5% works to do? That is the question.
Well, no, because I don't believe that 95% of people are aiming to do bad.
Right, but you believe they are.
If we're saying in our hypothetical situation, yes, absolutely. I think that maybe they're not going to 100% of the time go out of their way to make it harder for the 5%, but I would argue that there are people that will let things go.
But you really
they will let things go until it inconveniences them, however minor the inconvenience may be. Whether it may not even inconvenience them, it may just inconvenience their way of thinking.
Okay, but you really think the 95% of shit will stop the 5% from succeeding or thriving? You think the garbage amount, the shit in that pie will ruin Steven, or corrupt all of the...
I sure do love a good underdog story, but no, I think it's...
Really?
The numbers, if this is the hypothetical we're going with, that math is really bad, and it's not...
It is, but we're essentially trying to figure out the value of the human race. So let's say...
How much is a person worth?
That is a question we're going to answer on our absurd trolley problem episode.
Let's look at the let's go on the dark web. How much is a person worth?
You can get a child for about $10,000.
That's not bad at all.
It's not.
I mean, it's absolutely terrible. Let me rephrase that. It is the worst thing.
These moms are selling them on Facebook Marketplace.
It's way cheaper than a car.
Black. All right, here's the question though. We're making a pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
This pie is going to be worth X amount of dollars. And you have to decide if you're going to buy that pie based on its worth. Okay? Does that make sense?
Based on its worth or based on its retail value?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. A chef is going to put a pie in front of you and you have to decide if you want to buy it or not. That's the analogy. Okay? Hear me out. So the chef is working on this pie, right? We don't know how much money you have in your wallet because we don't know what it's going to take for
until
people.
Samuel L. Jackson comes on screen and asks what's in your wallet.
Yes. So we don't know what humanity is going to go through for us to dictate if or not this pie is worth it, right? In the future. So a chef's going to put a pie in front of you. The chef goes into the kitchen. Iron Man's in there to help make this pie, okay? And fucking Tony Stark is chopping.
You got Iron Man and the Star-Lord in there whipping shit up in the kitchen.
Yeah. Iron Man's chopping up diamonds, right? And emeralds and rubies. And all these amazing, beautiful, rarest gems on Earth.
Rocks.
Right? Yeah. No, just the good ones. And
the pretty rocks.
He fills 5% of this pie pan with the diamonds, the rare stones. And then, what's a shit superhero? Besides Iron Man.
Oh, no, Aquaman's DC. We can't say that one.
Who's a real loser?
I mean, Green Arrow kind of sucks.
Yeah, we got Green Lantern, the Brown Lantern.
No, Green Arrow. Green Lantern's DC. You can't say that one.
I think Brown Lantern sounds funny. We got the Brown Lantern filling up the other 95% of this pie with poop. Right?
He comes in and drops trowel on the table and
yeah. He's like, hey, look what this ring could do. And then he takes some poop in a pie.
Guys, I can make anything out of this ring. I can materialize any kind of matter with this ring.
Please just give me a movie.
Check this shit out.
Please, I just need a movie. The Brown Lantern. All right, so the Brown Lantern fills the pie crust with 95% poop, but there's 5% of diamonds. Now, this chef takes this warm, stinky pie out to you, okay? And he puts it at your table. He gives you a napkin, puts it on your lap. He gives you a fork and a knife, puts a little dab of whipped cream on it. And
just a little top in the middle.
He gives you your bill, and he asks if you're going to buy the pie. Is this pie worth eating? Is this pie the human shit pie?
I can tell
humanity?
you, I'm less tempted to eat this pie than the one with the spiced apples in it, and I'll tell you why.
It's not about eating it. Is it worth the money you're going to pay? It's not about taste, or this is a terrible analogy.
I was going to say, why would I want to bite into... Okay, yeah, I take a bite, and it's like I get through the shit part, and that's pretty bad, and then I break my teeth on diamonds and shit.
Sure. The argument is this pie worth whatever amount of money you have in your wallet? That's the real question.
Well,
It's arbitrary what's in your wallet. It's if you're willing to give all of the value you have to exchange the value of this pie? Is it worth it?
Let me offer you this. Do I have a choice?
Of course you do. You can believe or not believe in humanity every morning. You get to make that choice, right?
Yeah, but you still have to exist in it.
Doesn't mean
you still have to. You still have to be a part of it. So
no. We know people that die, right? We can leave anytime
we know people that die.
I mean, that sounds goofy and cynical,
okay,
but we can leave anytime we want.
Okay. So if we're leaving that option off the table, because that's an end all. That's like, oh,
yeah.
Would you rather this or this? It's like, I'd kill myself. And it's like, that's not the fucking question, idiot.
Yeah.
In this scenario, you've given me an option. What's the other option, though? You either participate or you don't. And when you don't, then you are part of the shit. Yeah, the shit portion of it.
So you might as well say it's a good pie.
I mean, I guess you got me on that. I guess it's not.
You have to believe because there's no other option.
You got to fake it till you make it.
I actually kind of like how that concludes. Because even if it's wrong.
It's all circular. It goes back to the beginning.
But even if it's wrong, even if the 5% of goodness of sweet isn't worth the sour or the shit, it's
all we got. They don't serve anything else at this restaurant.
Yeah,
that's all they have.
You kill yourself, or you have to embrace it.
And goddamn Lex Luthor standing by the. No, that's DC again. Fucking Magneto standing by the door, and you're not allowed to leave. Magneto and Charles Xavier are standing by the door, and they're using their powers to make you pick up that fork and take a bite.
They're just mentally masturbating each other with their powers. Like, watch this dude eat a poop pie.
One guy, one pie. New website.
I feel like, honestly, though, that is a fair conclusion that if you're not willing to kill yourself, then you do just have to accept that you believe in humanity. Right?
If you don't have the fucking stones.
For real. Unironically, if you're not willing to leave, then you have to accept that you believe in people or being here, even if you don't want to, because there is no choice. There is no other option.
Can I, real quick, I give you this quote on the topic of suicide? And I think this is what I think of whenever since I was younger, especially, but anytime. Even the idea of suicide, like not even like suicidal thoughts or whatever come into my head. I hear in my head quotes from Leak Brothers song. It's the
Waterworld.
Waterworld. The song's called Stargate. And there's a line where he says, "Gun in my face, don't expect me to panic. I gave up on suicide. You'll have to take me off this planet." Dude, and I love it.
Living out of spite, bro. Straight George Costanza on these motherfuckers.
I love the idea of like, oh, no, you don't get rid of me that easy. Like I'm stronger than this. I'm better than this. You're not gonna best me.
God, people really do fucking suck. But there's no choice. We have to be a person.
I'll tell you who doesn't suck. Whoever's listening to this podcast. Probably.
Yeah, we solved the mystery of our one European listener.
Yeah. Turns out we knew exactly who it was the whole fucking time.
Just forgot what country that she was from.
Oh, fucking A. That was really funny.
Dude, I enjoy these kind of loony conversations trying to figure out things, though.
Yeah, there are parts of it where I feel like we're walking on eggshells a little bit when I start spouting off of the mouth about cleansings and shit. But,
hey, you gotta crack a few eggshells if you're gonna eat an omelet, right?
Yeah, you gotta crack a few legs.
And I'm a hungry baby bird.
getting eggs.
I'm a sleepy baby bird.
Oh, God damn it.
Freestyle in the books next week. Possibly Star Time manifestos. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm going to look up into some time cube bullshit. I haven't actually done the deep dive, but I might not even pop out with that, but I'm going to look into it and see if it's relevant enough to bring up when you start giving your manifesto. If I find any side-by-side analogies I can give, I think that'll be fun.
I think I have a pretty creative system. So I have it distilled down to 5 points, and each point will be a point on a star, and then each line of the star will be a different color, and from point to point, it'll show how they relate to each other. Does that make sense?
It does, but it mostly makes sense because it does sound a lot like Time Cube in the way that instead of a star, it's a cube.
Yeah.
And you have the 6 points on the cube.
It's like a Reddit post.
The 8 points on the cube.
Yeah, it's like a Reddit post of the guy who finds a schizophrenic's rant notebook and they post it online. It's basically what this is going to be.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, the book of the law. We're ready for it.
Law is the love. Do what thou will. Love under will. Will above love.
Will be the whole of the law. Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trash Cats Trashcast on Instagram for news and arts from the show. Also check out Facebook for the memes.
If you're super bored, you can check out my shitty trashy art on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZICX. Super fucking slow. I didn't even get a chance to talk about that. I forgot, but man, art's driving me nuts. But we'll have something new up there ASAP. And then next episode, some philosophy stuff. And we got some cool music. I think we got a Chaotic Steel track coming, some other cool art stuff.
Hell yeah, look at the boy.
Yeah, catch up on some artists and honorable mentions next week. But I think that's it for today.
Fuck yeah, that's gonna be all for us today. Stay classy. Damn, I've never fucked that one up before. I said stay classy.
You had all that poop pie in your mouth.
Yep, that's it. Them diamonds and poop pie.
Yeah.
That's gonna be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash.